U.S. Defense Department has spent over $1 trillion on the most cutting-edge robot technology, introducing RoboSanta Plus for the upcoming holiday season.
What are you gonna do this fine Christmas Eve?
I was potentially gonna go meet up with a dude. I've blown him off twice already, so.
Come on, get a drink with your old pal, Robbie.
What's up with you two?
Just grabbing a drink.
I talk her out of some Tinder trash.
You didn't talk me out of anything. To Christmas!
To Christmas!
Humbug.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
New animatronic state-of-the-art Santa Claus, featured at our own TW Bunkers, is now the subject of an international recall.
Santa?
What? This guy killed the kid next door!
Oh, shit!
Do you hear that?
Or what?
You need to give me a gun.
What is that?
It's him.
Oh, Santa Claus?
Yeah, it's fucking
Santa
Claus.
Claus!
Have you heard from the boys down at the scene yet?
They're still down there counting bodies.
And he goes, I got something else to run by you.
I says, I'm D.B. Cooper. I've been wanted for a long time.
When he got on a plane in Portland, Oregon last night, he was just another passenger who gave his name as D.A. Cooper. But today, after hijacking a Northwest Airlines jet, description on one-wire service, master criminal.
In the early 70s, a hijacker calling himself D.B. Cooper jumped from an airliner in flight, carrying $200,000 in ransom cash, and disappeared in the woods of the Pacific Northwest. His fate remained unknown, his true identity a mystery, that is, perhaps until now.
They can't prove a thing on me. But now, they prove it all.
Well, Rodney had this lone wolf kind of mystery about him, like he had a secret.
Decided to come out now and tell the truth about everything, so the people that have a right to know who I am.
This is real, and we might find this money.
You got $193,000 some dollars buried on the beach. So we're going treasure hunting and just dig it up.
Some guy hijacked a plane in Portland last night and then jumped from it.
This guy got away with it.
And the more I looked into it, the more I thought, well, he's either the most well-versed D.B. Cooper fanatic that I've ever met or even heard of, or he's D.B. Cooper.
Oh my God, you're still alive.
I'll take a bourbon on the rocks. And if you could keep those coming until the plane lands or I jump out of it, that'd be great.
Yeah, Mike, Chris did a walkthrough with the police.
So is the concern a shooter?
We get threats all the time. I'm not gonna not do the rally.
Come on, give me your name. Reverend Alfred Sharpton, chairman of National Youth Movement. We just buried a boy, and the only thing he did wrong was he was born on the wrong side of the tracks.
In New York City in the 80s, what we wanted to say, people did not want to hear.
Go home, niggas! Go home!
So you had to be loud because you were not invited to address the public.
So they can't ride us foul! They don't need to ride!
This is the beginning of a civil rights movement in New York.
It's all the media's fault. These things should be kept quiet. Al Sharpton, go home.
They will say that we are exasperating racial tensions, but the people know the truth.
George Floyd's story has been the story of black folks. We talk about calling for a big march. We won't put 200,000-300,000 people in Washington.
If the question comes from the media about looting, he wanted to cast to you to set the tone.
Couldn't breathe.
I understand the anger. I've been fighting these issues for decades.
Anytime you start shaking the root of this system, then you're going to have a discredit campaign.
No justice! Senator Schumer, we have not had the legislative response to the litany of cases of policing all the way from Rodney King to now. 2020, we must deal with police brutality.
We got to turn these stations upside down.
All of our lives you had to fight to make sure that you control the story.
I want the folks at CBS to know if you can't tell the story right, don't tell it at all.
You've got to be able to raise the theater level to where you don't lose control, but it is dramatic enough that you can't be ignored either.
I don't know that anybody else could have modeled those dinosaurs. I don't know that anybody else could have set the standards for animating them. I don't know that we would have even tried.
Here's somebody that was fundamental at that time in the progress of this disruptive technology.
Steve Williams, otherwise known as Spaz Williams, worked in a tiny windowless room that was called the Pit.
Lucasfilm's Industrial Light and Magic. This was where Spaz and his cohorts created breakthrough animation.
He happened to be the right guy at the right time, at the right place. Before Steve, this stuff couldn't have been done.
It was not biotechnology that brought the dinosaurs to life in Jurassic Park. Animator Steve Williams used a computer to bring the T-Rex to life.
For almost 75 years, the technology and the techniques were pretty much the same.
3 key projects ultimately had the greatest impact: The Abyss, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park.
If you want to stay in the industry, you got to play the game. Steve didn't play that game.
The parties, far out of control.
I was suspended twice.
He was a rebel.
Steve said, why don't we just build all the dinosaurs in computer graphics?
He knew the time was right. And I think other people was like, whoa, no, we're not going into this whole new realm.
I just believed we could do it, but actually having to prove it, that was the challenge. There was a lot of people pissed off at me because of my arrogance. I shot my mouth off a lot.
This is unfortunately what's happening.
I'm not political. I'm not political. I've never been political, right? I'm not good at it.
This month is the 20th anniversary of Sally's disappearance.
Why do they call it an anniversary like it's something to celebrate?
After all this time,
What do you need to help you feel whole again?
I could never feel whole again.
And what would you do if you found out who it was?
I mean, I'd call the police, obviously.
You call the police? Well, you wouldn't want to tie him up?
Don't drag me into that.
If it's not revenge, what would you want?
Oh, it's your mom. Okay. Hey, Mrs. C.
We were just in the middle of eating.
Jesse, what do you want for Christmas? I already have what I want. True love.
Jesse, I think I'm holding you back.
Are you breaking up with me?
Baby, we did things right, you know? We kept the fights clean and the sex dirty. I'd be happy to keep servicing your needs if it won't complicate things.
I just spoke to my son.
Breaking up with you right before Christmas?
Yeah.
Sean doesn't want to come home. That's fine. But
Your family, Jesse. Mr. and Mrs. C.
it feels right to be here.
Ah, humbug. No, that's too strong, 'cause it is my favorite holiday.
Get the dog.
Hey, Polo, come on!
Oh, my. Hello.
Name's David. Fall under the title of nephew. And Liz. God, if you were 2 years younger, we'd have to try not to get pregnant.
Hey, Becky, nice to see you.
Remember when we were kids? I threw my whole cookie jar at you.
I should probably help with the,
Lights. Have you been standing here the whole time? Hello. Yes.
I hope Jesse's having a good time.
They're having fun. Now, take a sip of purple drink.
Is this safe?
Just enjoy the moment. Have a nice glass of lean together.
I haven't done something this spontaneous in forever.
Yeah, way more cough syrup at the moment than grape soda.
It's very full body.
Was it too much?
not at all.
Now she is trying to bang Sean's cousin. We are dealing with a top shelf Christmas.
Hey, surprise, everybody! Jesse. It's like it's meant to be.
Whichever path you take, I support it. I know that Sean can be wild sexually, and I want you to know that that comes from my side of the family. I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
It's important that we stay connected during this busy holiday season. So, drop those lights and pull out your...
I first encountered Agnes in graduate school. I read a case study about a young trans girl in the 1950s who lied her way into the UCLA gender clinic to get access to surgery. And I remember reading it and thinking, it's not telling the real story.
Well,
the flip for me to the talk show is in part a nod to the fact that the talk show was the place where many of us first encountered gender nonconforming subjects.
You might be wondering where people go when they are experiencing problems of a sexual nature. An experimental research team at UCLA is interviewing dozens of people about emerging problems of sex and gender.
It's wild to be a part of a project like this that kind of blows open a vault.
Your parents must be a little overwhelmed by your desire for all these changes.
Yeah, well, you know,
They're old people. I have a friend, she's like me, and she helped me take a position as a receptionist at a hair salon.
Does the owner know about you?
They know I can type.
I put a bit of paint over the F on my driver's license, but the police scraped it off. They asked me, "Are you a man or a woman?" And I said, "Well, that's a matter of opinion."
We have heard the story told by the hunter and not by the lion, and not by the lions who not only fought back but got away.
If you want to go back and understand why we're having these conversations about reparations, why the racial wealth gap exists, you can do no better than looking back at Lowndes County.
Lowndes County was one of the poorest counties in the country.
It was 80% African American, and in 1965, there were no black people registered to vote in Lowndes County, Alabama.
It was a dangerous time.
People were followed, people could lose their jobs.
A lot of black people came up missing. That's why it's called Blood Lounge.
It is called that because of the absolute unrelenting violence if you're trying to register to vote.
They were literally putting their lives on the line.
And they still organize, and still they try and vote.
We wanted a movement that would survive the loss of our lives.
The strength will come from the work together.
We weren't just interested in the vote. We were interested in changing who ran the county.
In Alabama, you could have an independent party.
This was a real effort to have black people participate in government.
The white establishment saw it as a fundamental threat. We saw it as a fundamental necessity.
This is a play for power.
We live in a world that is so heavily shaped by that movement.
We have to continue to tell the story of how we got to where we are today.
Why do you come to us? I just want to keep my family safe. Treat them as our brothers and sisters. Teach them our ways. Keep up, Forest boy! If you want to live here, you have to ride. Let's do it.
Just breathe. Breathe.
Outcasts, that's all they see.
I see you.
Like you, I'm supposed to fight.
Protect the people.
Let's get it done.
Avatar: The Way of Water. Experience it in 3D. Only in theaters December 16th. Tickets on sale now.